Now, 7 trumpets, the last 3, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th trumpet, Revelation 8 and 9 are described as 3 woes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Revelation 8 verse 13. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, 3 woes are making up the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th trumpet. Those 3 trumpets, are linked with the 3 angels' messages into the very first person who saw the understanding of the 5th and the 6th trumpet. Nasa nipa your friend Josiah Litch. Now I'm going to share with you what Ellen White says about the 5th and the 6th trumpet in Revelation chapter 9. Now, this is in great controversy. Sorry, Maranatha. Page 152. Paragraph 4. The title is Ottoman Empire in Prophecy. Now, search this for yourself. Search this for yourself. Because something is brewing. Now, let's hear. Ottoman Empire in Prophecy. Now, let me read this. Let me share some free Ottoman Empire in Prophecy. Maranatha, page 152, paragraph 1. Lose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men. Revelation chapter 9, verse 14 and 15. So Revelation 9 talks about locust, baby, which arose out of the bottomless pit. Now that simple interpretation of Bible prophecy has also been distorted. So locust power now arising out of the bottomless pit in Revelation chapter 9. That locust power, the spirit of prophecy tells us what it actually means. And it's got everything to do with the end time. In the year 1840, another remarkable fulfillment of prophecy excited widespread interest. And what is that fulfillment of prophecy? 2 years before, in 1838, and Josiah Litch. Now let me read it. Let me not give any interpretation to it. Let's just read it. Josiah Litch, one of the leading ministers preaching the second advent. You hear the word? The second advent. This was the Millerite movement. When you apply our situation to the parable of the 10 virgins, the pure virgins who had extra oil. He was part of this group. Josiah Litch published an exposition of Revelation 9. Ellen White said that a remarkable fulfillment of prophecy. Now check out in Adventism. Check out. We don't believe it anymore. And we profess to believe in the spirit of prophecy. But we don't believe, say, the spirit of prophecy. Apart from that, many of us are not even aware. And that is why we are taking this opportunity to throw light, to open our understanding into these things. Because mind you, Laodicea is blind. One of the leading ministers preaching the second advent published an exposition of Revelation 9 predicting the fall of the Ottoman Empire. So the whole Revelation 9, which is the 5th and the 6th trumpet, is about what? It's about the Ottoman Empire. Where do we find the Ottoman Empire? It is modern day Turkey. Where is their location geographically? Middle East. They are tied with the first and the second angel's message. What do you say? Senior prophecy we and in the memoir, the world would never have accepted the first angel's message by William Miller. Never. This is what gave great power. No, I'm not going to say it. You hear what Ellen White says. Predicting the fall of the Ottoman Empire. According to his calculations, this power was to be overthrown in AD 1840. Check the date. Sometime in the month of August. And only a few days previous to its accomplishment, he wrote, allowing the first period, 150 years, to have been exactly fulfilled before the causes ascended the throne by permission of the text. And that the 391, I'm going to explain that in the future. Relax. And that the 391 years, 15 days commenced at the close of the first period. It will end on the 11th of August 1840, when the Ottoman Empire in Constantinople may be expected to be broken. And this, I believe, will be found to be the case. At the very time specified, into Josiah Leach, predicted say August 11, 1840, Ottoman Empire it will fall. It will fall. According to Revelation chapter 9, it gives a time prophecy. Because 2,300 day prophecy there a second advent movement or more preaching, it had time prophecy. So this time prophecy was lit with the first angel's message, time prophecy. In the fulfillment of this time prophecy, because time prophecy, this was the first time people were talking about the fact that a day represents a year, 2,300 day prophecy. How was the world to believe that? God in his wisdom had tied the Ottoman Empire to the first angel's message. Into the very people who were preaching the first angel's message were the very people who understood Revelation chapter 9. The same people, because Bible, Revelation 14 says, and we read this here, and Revelation 8 verse 13, the same angel who was seen preaching the first angel's message, is that same angel who declared the last three woes. We are going to explain that in detail, and I'm going to sum it up very soon. At the very time specified, Turkey, through her ambassadors, accepted the protection of the allied powers of Europe and thus placed herself under the control of Christian nations. The event exactly fulfilled the prediction. And look at what Ellen White says. A wonderful impetus was given to the Advent movement. Josiah Leach predicted, say, in 1840, Turkey ebe lusuni to me, allied nations and a man support, a man more or less like backing. Lusuni to me in the Ottoman Empire was predicted the exact date using the day-year principle. Daniel 8, 2,300 day prophecy. And they just say day-year principle is accurate, and we can use it to apply it to the rise and fall of the Ottoman Empire. Josiah Leach predicted in 1838, 2 years before 1840, or predicted the day Ottoman Empire will lose the power. The very day, August 11, 1840, Ottoman Empire losing the power. In the Obu publishes a document, and the moment they see a pet on the August 11, then people's attention was drawn to the 2,300 prophecy of Lamela preacher said, day your principle now apply to Turkey. Now say a fulfill dia. And yet the omu can concerning the first angel's message say 2,300 prophecy, the advent of Christ is imminent, it can be true, and many people join. See a great impetus. Messenger appeared the first angel's message to be accepted in the world was Revelation 9, the rise and fall of the Ottoman Empire. It is connected to the first angel's message. Now let's get back. Let's get back to what I was talking about, the prophetic chart. So, this thing had happened in 1840. It has given great impetus to the three angels' messages. And Josiah Leach here, Charles Fitch, God had impressed upon his heart, according to the spirit of prophecy, to design a prophetic chart. And in designing the prophetic chart, he attaches the last three woes, which is the fifth and the sixth and the seventh trumpet, which is Revelation 8 and 9. The seventh trumpet is Revelation 11. But the fifth and the sixth, which is Revelation 9, he attaches it. And a prophetic chart and a chart near the prophetic chart and the entire first and the second angel's message. That is 43 prophetic chart. Chart in this is the chart. It has the three trumpet. This is God impressing upon someone's heart to do it, to make it so simple for people to comprehend. And it labels it the first, the second, and the third woe. Three woes. And look at what should they go? Mahometans. The fifth and the sixth trumpet, Handful. Mahometans. Who are the Mahometans? The locusts in Revelation chapter 9. Locusts. No? Let's quickly look at Judges chapter 6, verse number 6 and 5. Revelation 9 describes them as locusts. But before that, let me read Revelation 9 and then we come back to Judges chapter 6. Revelation chapter 9, this is what it says. Verse 1. And the fifth angel sounded. See, the fifth angel, which is the first woe. Now, why do I say it is the first woe? Revelation chapter 13. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven. Flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice. You hear? What's it? I beheld an angel flying through the midst of heaven. Where do we hear this expression? In Revelation 14, 6 and 7. The same angel saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe. How many woes? 3. To the first 4 woes, we are now heading to the final woes. The first 4 woes are called, that is judgment. Now we are heading to the final woes. Woe, woe, woe. And what happens? And you see the angel, the same angel of Revelation 8 verse 13 is that same angel also of Revelation chapter 14 verses 7 and 8. The first angel. The angel that proclaimed the first angel's message is that very angel that declared the last 3 woes. And that angel who proclaimed the last message, William Miller. And Miller and his people had a better understanding of the last 3 woes. Who do you go to? You go to William Miller and his people, the Millerites. They understood what the 3 woes actually were, because the angel that is seen proclaiming the last 3 woes is that same angel that is seen proclaiming the first angel's message. No wonder that Josiah H., who was part of the Millerite movement, gave an exposition of what Revelation 9 is all about, and Ellen White in the Spirit of Prophecy affirms it, that it is a fulfillment of prophecy. Now, young Revelation 9. So, whoa, whoa, whoa. To the inhabitants of the earth, judgment is coming. And what is the first angel's message? Judgment. The same thing. You will study that in details. By reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. Wow. And then verse 9, chapter 9, Revelation chapter 9. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And this is why text we and I am misinterpreting because bottomless pit into any Revelation chapter 11 into also now falling through the same period of the 7 churches and he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, and the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Verse 3. And there came out of the smoke what? Locusts upon the earth. So the 5th trumpet and the 6th trumpet they were judgment of locust. Locust take no matter. So you apply, you ask here a little, there a little. Locust no matter. Now let's go. Locust. Judges in maybe. Judges chapter 6, verse number 5 and 6. Look at what the Bible says. For they came up with their cattle. Now this was the war. Gideon and the Midianites. And he's going to explain who these locusts are. For they came up with their cattle and their tents, and they came as locusts for multitude. For both they, now grasshoppers, the same locust. Even the tree into maybe other versions of the Bible say locust, grasshoppers, cankerworms, the family of locusts. And they came as grasshoppers or locusts for multitude. For both they and their camels were without number, and they entered into the land to destroy. So, Israel phone, media phone, Amalek phone, and the Bible describes say they came almost to say locusts. Yanko. And Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites. So who are these locusts? Midianites, and the children of Israel cried unto the Lord. Now who are they? Let's go. Judges chapter 7, verse number 12. Let's read. And the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east. So where do they belong to geographically? They belong to the east, the Middle East. The Bible is so clear. Midianites, Amalekites, all of these people belong to the east. Belong to the east. Lay along in the valley like what? Grasshoppers, locusts, for multitude. And their camels were without number, as the sand by the seaside for multitude. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now, Judges chapter 8. Judges chapter 8, verse number 24. Look at that. Now, Israel, Gideon, they do now look at what happens here. And Gideon said unto them, I would desire a request of you, that ye would give me every man the earrings of his spirit. In the Midianites, the people of the east, no some earrings and and Gideon said, and Kawan and Sumadiana Mojeji, for they had golden earrings. No one Somalia is because they were what? Ishmaelites. Who are the people of the east? Who are the locusts in Revelation chapter 9? Ishmaelites. Now, who are the descendants of Ishmael? Islamic nation. So, according to the Bible, the locust power in Revelation 9 is the Mahometans. So, in designing the prophetic chart, which is a fulfillment of Habakkuk chapter 2. Habakkuk chapter 2 is a fulfillment of the three angels' messages. The three angels' messages, no. The three trumpets, which is the last three woes, sixth and the fifth and the sixth, and even the seventh, which is young one here, the Mahometans, Ottoman Empire, no. A linked, a part of the end time prophecy. What is that supposed to mean? The Islamic nations have something to do with the end time prophecy. And what have they to do with the end time prophecy? We will study that in detail. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the prophetic chart, it was very clearly stated. The Mahometans, and look at that, Mahometans. Now, who are the Mahometans? According to Revelation 9, the locusts. And who are the locusts? According to Judges chapter 8, verse 24, Ishmaelites. Where do they belong to? The east. The Islamic nations in the east. They are connected to end time prophecy. And it's amazing how Revelation chapter 7, there is a word there, 2 words, 4 winds. That is to blow upon the earth according to the spirit of prophecy, according to the Bible. My goodness. The Ishmaelites. And you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. That is why it is brewing. And it will escalate. But it will escalate at a particular time. But that time has not yet come. So the east and the west are connected to the end time prophecy. And it is found in Daniel chapter 11, verse 45. The king of the north, I have become Amankasa. I want to admit. Ma apply king of the north to Babylon. King of the north is Babylon. King of the north in Daniel chapter 11 is not Babylon. It is a mistake that we've made. The king of the north is not Babylon. And I'll explain why. But not now, in the future. King of the north near the it is Turkey. You wouldn't believe it. But that is Bible prophecy. And I'm going to prove that. And we are going to learn that. So, what is brewing? And now, if we so think Turkey has got nothing to do with prophecy, we have been hugely mistaken. Turkey, not necessarily Iran, but it will be led by Turkey. No wonder. The foreign affairs minister, do you know where they were? Very interesting. How interesting prophecy is. Turkey's Islamic offensive against Israel grows as Gaza war rages. Turkey. And you're one of the most powerful nations in the Middle East, where you will never know. Trump will talk about it. Trump will tell us. Syria. Who are also Saudi Islamists, no? You're taking it behind. Taking Israel and a share border. And we hear Turkey for air chanting, take us to Jerusalem. According to end time prophecy, Turkey will enter Jerusalem. It is just region. It will get there. In Istanbul, top Arab League diplomats discuss Iran-Israel war. Istanbul. Take note. Turkish president calls on Islamic world. He calls on who? Islamic world to unite against Israel's genocide in Gaza. In the idea Israel for America, the West, Turkey will lead the charge, and it's gonna be interesting. It's got something to do with the Battle of Armageddon in Revelation chapter 16. So, ladies and gentlemen, Turkey's Erdogan calls for Islamic alliance against Israel. Turkey is one of the most powerful nations out there. You will never believe it. Trump himself affirms it.
One of the sides has been essentially wiped out, but nobody knows who the other side is. But I do. You know who it is? Turkey. Okay? Turkey's the one behind it. He's a very smart guy. They've wanted it for thousands of years, and he got it. And those people that went in are controlled by Turkey. And that's okay. It's another way to fight. But no, I don't think that I want to have our soldiers killed. But I don't think that will happen now anyway, because the one side's been decimated.
Mr. President, I want to ask you a question about the drones.
Are the drones concerned about more unrest in that region, or do you think it will calm?
Well, nobody knows what the final outcome is going to be in the region. You know, nobody knows who really the final. I believe it's Turkey, and I think Turkey is very smart. He's a very smart guy, and he's very tough. But Turkey did an unfriendly takeover without a lot of lives being lost. I can say that Assad was a butcher. What he did to children.
What am I trying to say? My point is very simple. Turkey is properly captured. Islamic nations with Islamic background, as we have within these few seconds established, nations with Islamic background are tied up to end time prophecy. But one here, you will never see it. Now, it is properly captured in the 43 and the 50 charts. God impressed and gave it to his people. 50 charts, why the design here? God impressed. It is a third angel's message. And third angel's message, this is the 50 charts. Mahometans, not as Mahometans. It is tied with the third angel's message. But do we hear people say, do we hear even a renowned preacher say, it has got something to do? The Mahometans have got something to do with end time prophecy? No, we don't believe it anymore. They again saw, that is our pioneers, they saw the resurgence of Turkey back to prominence in Revelation 9 and Daniel 11:40-45. The king of the north is not Babylon. It's not the papacy. It's not true. I myself have been a victim of this. It's not true. Spirit of prophecy has never said king of the north, I am Babylon. On can be papacy. Nowhere. Where did we get this thing from? In Daniel chapter 11 verse 4, it is called the Eastern question. According to the prophecy, what is going to happen? Daniel chapter 11, Turkey will enter Jerusalem. And when they enter Jerusalem, do you know what that means? Close of probation. The pioneers knew this. Laodiceans, blind Laodiceans don't know it. The opened Millerites, their eyes were open, they knew. Blind Laodiceans don't know. Yet we profess to know everything. That is the sad reality. May God help us to, with this escalation open our eyes so we can discern exactly what is happening. Because everything that pertains to the future has been given us. But we as a people have failed to fully grasp and fully comprehend it. May God help us. In Jesus' name. Amen.